Yes, I got the host access. Now I will share my screen. So thanks for joining the demo one on DevOps with AWS on Linux platform. Let me share my screen first and then let us start for today. Okay, so you joined here for the demo that is on the DevOps with AWS on Linux. So the purpose of this demo is to explain like how the course has been designed. First of all, how this DevOps with cloud, DevOps with cloud will accelerate your career, how it will help to your career, what are all the today's opportunities, what exactly the tools or maybe the technologies we have to focus on to become a DevOps engineer or to become a cloud engineer. So that is what I would like to give you the a brief overview about this DevOps engineer job roles, DevOps engineer job opportunities, and who can become a DevOps engineer. Why the people are using the DevOps. So many things are coming, right? So many things are coming. Like what is this what is this DevOps, and then who will use this web app, who will use this DevOps and all. Okay, so before going to start, what is DevOps? Before going to start, what is DevOps? Let us discuss some general things about the DevOps. Just let me take one new Word document. Right. So DevOps introduction or DevOps demo one. DevOps with AWS demo one. Let me just take DevOps with AWS on Linux platform. Okay, fine. First of all, what is this DevOps is? Before discussing what is this DevOps is, why we should have to learn this DevOps? Not only DevOps, DevOps with one cloud. DevOps with one cloud. Any one of the cloud is mandatory. Why we need to learn this DevOps first? What is the problem? Meaning, why the industries are using nowadays the DevOps in their projects? No matter what is the company it is, what is the size of the company it is, everyone is using the DevOps. First of all, let me introduce you about this course. Course duration is 4 months. Course fee is 12K INR, and access will be given for the videos, recorded videos. Access will be given for the recorded videos with the 8 months validity. With the
Sir,
8 months validity.
at least minimum 1 year should be there, no, sir?
No, actually, some other institutes are giving just 3 months validity.
Oh, is
Just
it?
3 months. Just 3 months validity. Some other institutes are giving.
Okay.
And they are asking extra 3,000 for the additional lifespan. But here I have taken into two. 4 months is your complete your batch, and again 4 more months. If let us say I will take 4.5 months to complete your validity for the one more 4.5 months, because you have to revision and then
Correct,
All the
sir.
times all the times while attending the sessions may not be possible to revision, isn't it?
Yes,
That
yes, yes, yes.
that is the reason. That is the reason. Into two times I am giving the access, meaning I requested the our Durga Soft team to give the access. However, what you will get, soft copy of the material you will get, soft copy of the material. This is no, restriction on this soft copy of the material. You can download and then keep it with you, and you will be provided with a Google Classroom access. Google Classroom access for 8 months. How long your recordings are valid? Till the time the Google Classroom access will be provided. So
Okay.
how the Google Classroom access will be, let me just showcase that Google Classroom, how it will be. We will maintain our notes and all there. So let me close other tabs. Yes, leave. Yeah, so this is what the classroom, like, DevOps 2, DevOps 3, DevOps 1, like that.
Mhm.
This is DevOps 1. So Google Classroom is created where every material notes and all will be posted here, like lab guides, architectural documents and all will be posted here. So this uh, Google Classroom access will be for 8 months, like whatever your course into two is the validity, and you can download the materials at any moment of time,
Okay.
but the videos are not downloadable, not shareable, whereas the
Yes.
material you can download and
Mhm.
you can share also. Whatever you want you can do this with material. Fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, good. Now let us go to the overview. Why is this first of all, let me type, whatever access recorded videos with 8 months validity, soft copy of the material, Google Classroom access with the 8 months validity is what you will get. Okay, and after this, how many projects you will do? So a total of 5 projects you will do. A total of 5 projects. In this total of 5 projects, projects you will do here is one static website, one static website hosting. You can see that here in the handout, whatever I have shared. Uh, just see, this is the lab guide one, static website hosting. Similarly, we have the lab guides for these 5 projects. I can showcase you. Yes, lab guide 1, lab guide 2 is the Node.js application, lab guide 3 React.js, lab guide 4 Java application, lab guide 5 microservices, lab guide 6 Python application. A total of 6 projects you will do here. See this? What is the workflow and what are the concepts will be covered, and each and every concept, how to do it, meaning how to set up this pipeline, is what a step by step screenshot manner the handout will be, lab handout will be provided to you. So these lab handouts you have to follow and then do the applications. Okay, what we will do, what applications we will do in this DevOps? Any coding is required? Nothing. I'll explain what we're going to do in this DevOps. I'll explain. But first, let me introduce you the course structure and all. Okay.
So these projects is the end of the course or in the between of the course also we are going to.
Between, we will learn the concept on the projects. On
Okay.
the projects.
Okay.
For example, there is a concept called passwordless authentication. There
Mhm.
is a concept called publish over SSH plugin and SSH connectivity between the machines. So
Mhm.
these concepts, every project we will use these concepts. So every project, meaning, for example, Java deployment application, if you can take. So add-on concept, if you can see this in Java, more concepts we will learn. See this. This is the Java project thing. So here more concepts about the Jenkins we will learn,
Mhm.
meaning handout to hand, lab guide to lab guide. The concepts will be increased, and then the concepts we will learn on the projects only, so that we'll get a complete end-to-end picture, like what we are doing and how we are doing.
Mhm.
Fine. So let me, these projects will be given to you. The source codes are also given in this lab guides. If you can see, every lab guide is attaching the source code URL, where the source code is, and then how that source code will be taken and all is given with this step-by-step approach. How to create the Jenkins jobs and everything I have given step by step. I'll explain about this lab guides uh, going on time. So project static website, and then a Node.js application deployment, Node.js application deployment, and then the React.js application deployment, and then the um, fourth project is Java application deployment, and fifth project is microservices deployment. This is what your future, this is what your career, microservices deployment. Very, very important. Nowadays, everyone is asking about the microservices architectures. DevOps engineers are also facing the interview questions on this microservices architectures. I'll explain later in time. So microservices deployment, and then finally the Python project deployment. Here deployment, what I mean to say is a CI/CD. So let me replace the word called deployment with CI/CD. So CI/CD, microservices CI/CD, and then Python project CI/CD. What is this CI/CD is, again I'll explain. So this is what you will do, and complete source code repository, access whatever, what the access you will get: recorded videos, soft copy, Google Classroom access, and um, source code repository access. So these are all what you will get as an access during this course. Of course, once after your course is also done with the validation of uh, uh, few more days, this will be given. Okay, so that's all about this course content.
What,
Um,
what about AWS account information, sir?
yes, I'll provide that. I'll explain. So
Okay.
DevOps,
So AWS
The
with Linux.
Ansible is not there, sir.
AWS is there. I'll provide. Meaning I'll explain. Meaning I have not started the course content explanation, right? So
Okay.
let
The Ansible.
I'll explain our Ansible, whatever is there, I'll explain the tools, whatever DevOps tools, I'll explain. AWS services, I'll explain what we will do. Okay.
So,
Hmm.
so is DevOps with AWS on Linux is available, or else do we have anything on Windows also?
No, DevOps with AWS and Linux. Why? Because real platforms, production platforms are all on Linux platforms because of the security. If it is
Okay.
Windows, maybe we might encountered the viruses and all. But the Linux kernel is so strong enough that it won't allows the or trojans, malwares, viruses, it will filter. And also it have a robust security mechanism, no one can access the files until unless they have the proper permissions. So these are the reasons why we will go for the Linux platform. Okay, now what are
So you mean to say in the market all the projects are running based on Linux itself?
on Linux platform? On Linux platform only all the projects are deploying.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. Thank you.
So DevOps tools.
NRC, this is Virendra. See here, I'm from the background of the middleware technologies. Okay, all the middleware technologies. Okay, we have now the expectation from the clients or the customers, like to do a DevOps migration from the middleware to the AWS.
Hmm.
Like, are those concepts will be covered in this course?
Right. So those concepts will be covered in this course. Middleware, in the sense, maybe some servers, right?
Yeah,
Here, what
WebSphere, because whatever the infrastructure we built on
correct,
the
correct, correct.
the WebSphere or the MQ or the data
Hmm.
power, whatever the web service calls, we initiate from the data power. Okay, those would be deployed, or those would be residing on the AWS or the Azure cloud. Okay, those concepts, because whatever the nodes or the parts are the slaves, how we build those slaves, and what is auto scaling things, and how we configure the auto scaling things. Those are because all those concepts related to the infra. Are those concepts will be covered under this course, or like it would be on different things again?
Okay, so let me first explain. Okay, all those concepts will be covered here. Here we will use the Kubernetes cluster and all the, okay, let me first explain the microservices I told, right? The fifth project. So let me take the cloud architecture first. This is, let it come actually. Let it come. Yes. This is what the cloud architecture, microservices architecture. Now, if you can see here, these are all are now on the AWS. What we will do is we will automate these services using the DevOps. So if you can see, Redis cache is there, RabbitMQ, Kafka, Zipkin, Grafana, ELK, and then the microservices, Discovery Server, Gateway, right? See here, load balancers are there. Load balancers are there to manage the load among them. Security, IAM is there, right? So this is what the microservices architecture, where finally we will deploy. Meaning these microservices, what we will do is we will automate. So how do we automate? Like this. Each and every microservice will be automated using the CI/CD process. So
Okay.
microservices are
Yeah, Narsi, because in this architecture, exactly, because see, you were saying that this architecture would be lying or residing before the middleware products, or it would be residing in inner side of the middleware products. Because we will be using web servers, it moves to the app server from the database, and whatever the web service call, we will be using third parties. Here, exactly where exactly the DevOps comes into picture, and how we are using those things, because that is what I want to understand. Because when I want to migrate myself into as a cloud engineer, or as a DevOps engineer, that could you please explain me more in detail what where exactly it resides the things?
sure, sure, sure. I'll explain. Okay, first of all, these are what the applications. Applications are using their own server and then connecting to the different databases. Now, what we will do is we will deploy it in the cluster, Kubernetes cluster. So how that Kubernetes cluster is, let me showcase the final production architecture. I think here it is. So let us go and then we showcase you the final production architecture. So this is the final production architecture. Now in this final production architecture, if you can see, this is a Kubernetes cluster. So when coming to the Kubernetes cluster here, application plus application connecting to the database, and also application having its server. Three things: application connecting to the DB, and application running in the server. These are three things will be deployed in this Kubernetes cluster. Okay, let me take one example. One example in the sense, one use case. Assume there is a WSO2 is one IAM server. WSO2 is one IAM server, which is running on its own. Or else let us take one application. Let's say app one is application. it is running on JBus. It will be running JBus, just assume. Now this app one is connecting to the MySQL database. Okay, then what we will do is first, we will write the Docker, we will create a Docker image for this application and then the web server or the application server. We'll build the Docker images. And for the database also we'll build the Docker image. So for the database also we'll build the Docker images. Now these Dockerized images will be deployed in our production, meaning in our Kubernetes cluster. In this cluster, the Dockerized images will be deployed as a Kubernetes parts. Now what will happen? The communication, how the communication will be happen now? In order to do a communication, there is a concept of the service discovery. So that service discovery concept of the Kubernetes will be used, and then the one application to another application communication will be happened. Okay, using the Kubernetes service discovery, the concept of Kubernetes service discovery and then network. Okay, here what we will do, we will automate the applications, application servers and application database to deploy in the Kubernetes cluster. Now, how we will automate? So how we will automate is, let me showcase the DevOps course content. In the DevOps course content, I have drafted a pipeline flow. Let me showcase that pipeline flow. So scroll down. This is what the pipeline flow we will do. That means each and every application code will be inside this Git repository. That code will be taken by the Jenkins. It will build and then prepare an artifact, and that artifact using by the Docker machine, and then the Docker image will be built here with its dependencies like server, runtime, and its a database. So those images will be prepared here and then uploaded to the container registry. Then from the container registry, the Kubernetes architecture will look up for the images in the container registry and then deploy in its cluster. Cluster with the master, and then the worker nodes in the master slave architecture replication. Got it? Huh? This is what the overview, like how we will do here. Got it, right? Okay.
Yeah, this is cloud engineer, right? So what is the difference between cloud engineer and data engineer?
Cloud engineer, data engineer,
Yeah.
purely different terms actually. Cloud engineer meaning cloud engineer no need to do with the DevOps activity. Okay, let me plug in my charger just in a moment. Okay, so cloud engineer is no need to do all these things. Cloud engineer is not a DevOps engineer. Cloud engineer is different. DevOps engineer is different. DevOps engineer requires the cloud experience or knowledge. If the cloud engineer,
No, it's cloud engineer and data engineer, I was asking.
correct. First, let me
Yeah.
explain the cloud engineer versus DevOps engineer. Cloud engineer, data engineer. Data engineer might be, first of all, these designations or roles are specific to company to company. There is no general term the industry will use for one role. However, if we take a cloud engineer will be responsible for the cloud infrastructure automation. Cloud infrastructure automation. That means whatever the cloud, maybe AWS, maybe Azure, maybe GCP, whatever the cloud it is, he has to automate the cloud infrastructure only. And then data engineer responsibility is to protect the data, replicate the data across the multiple clusters. And cloud engineer will make sure the data, meaning cloud engineer will make sure the infrastructure will be set up with the disaster recovery. There is a concept called disaster recovery. I think this is a demo one. So you guys are asking the high level things, maybe others are dropping, but however, let me explain this in the coming up sessions. But as the question asked, the answer is data engineer will take care about the data replication, data integrity, data security over the clusters. Over the clusters meaning what? One cluster we always set up in the current production, and then always another cluster will be set up in the DR, disaster recovery. Now the DR data and then the cluster data, both should have to be synced together. So data integrity, data consistency, meaning the data security. Data also should have to be flown in the encryption model. So there are data encryption models are there actually. So data should have to be flown in the encryption model. The database should have to have the encrypted data only. So if that is the case, how the data is replicating? Maybe I am talking a very high level. Folks may not get it. Just let me try to draw an architecture, just in case to give you the overview, like how the data engineer and then how the cloud engineers will be. Okay, assume now this is one of my cluster. This is my production cluster, prod cluster. Always when we set up the prod cluster, always we also have to set up the DR, disaster recovery. Assume this prod cluster I deployed in the Mumbai region. DR I will keep in the other region just to make sure my application will be work in case of any disasters will be happen, natural disasters will be happen to this Mumbai data center. Though the disasters will be occurred, the data should be still there and then application will be still work. So let us say I have deployed, I set it up in the Ohio region. Okay, now who will set up these clusters? Cloud engineers. Fine. Now there are databases, isn't it? RDS and any other. Maybe we can use the RDS. So yes, assume this is the database. So this is the database it is using. Now data engineers will make sure that databases replication. That means the data of one database should have to replicate it to another database. And with the desired state, there is a concept called desired state. That means how many number of instances of the databases we should be maintained for the incoming request load and all. Now, whatever the main cluster is saving the data into these databases, right? Similarly, the DR cluster also should have to save the data into these prod clusters. Now, these databases will be kept inside the Mumbai region here. So this is the Mumbai region databases, whereas these are all the databases that are there in the Ohio region. This is the Ohio region dataset. Now, whether the data is saved or created through the DR, that will be synced to this as well. That will be synced to this database as well. So there is a concept called database master to master, slave to slave synchronizations. So data engineers will ensure that data will be replicated, data will be integrated, and data will be secured. That is the job of the data engineers. Whereas the cloud engineers will set up these infrastructures, cloud infrastructures. Got it? Is it clear now? Okay. If this is true, got it right? Any questions? Okay.
Yeah, I
However,
got it. Thank you.
yes, yes. Now let us see what is this course contents is and what are the DevOps tools we will use here. Okay, who can learn the DevOps? First of all, who can learn the DevOps? Who can learn the DevOps? Anyone who want to, anyone who are already in IT career but would like to get more opportunities, more career growth. So they can learn this DevOps, and who are now doing non-IT jobs, and wants to start IT career. So those can take this course. And who don't have the programming knowledge or programming skill, who don't have the programming uh, programming technology like Java, Python, programming technology or programming language, right? Language knowledge or experience. Those also can take this course. Who can take? Anyone can take the DevOps with the AWS course. Who already in IT career but would like to get more career growth. Maybe Java developer is there. They don't know how the deployments will be, how the production deployments will be. So if they know, if they attend this DevOps, CI/CD, DevOps course and all, they came to know how the CI/CD and how the application will be deployed in real productions and all. They came to know. Next, who are now doing non-IT jobs and wants to start IT career, maybe medical reps or some marketing jobs or some HR things on HR in the sense non-IT HRs will be also there, right? Human resource. So whoever want to start their IT career, they can take this course. And who don't have the programming language or technology or experience, those also can take.
So
And
the first point which you're talking about, we are getting experience in the let's say manager level example. In this manager level, just they want to know what's going on, because we are in the backlog on this DevOps or the latest technology occurs.
correct.
It helpful this one, because
100%.
just to manage to the team or to understand that the features, we are not really want to as a developers or some here.
Understood. 100% it will be help, because you guys will get the end-to-end knowledge, like what happens with the developer.
Correct.
And when the DevOps engineers will come exactly, and what they will do, and where the cloud infrastructure will come. And also, once after done this course, I'm pretty sure you guys will be able to give a suggestions as well. Like, why can't we take this Ansible here? Why can't we take the Kubernetes cluster here? Why can't we take the, Docker here? Such a suggestions also you guys can give, because, the course, how I will deal is the pure real-time parity, pure realistical, and then every concepts will learn on the practical implementation of it. No, I mean, theory discussions will be there, but the theory discussions also will be covered on top of the practical thing. So 100% will be helpful.
Okay, okay. Because we are in the more experience in the system, just we want to know the future, and just we can provide the suggestions to them, but we cannot go and sit and do these jobs actually.
That's true. That's true. And definitely this is required course for the managers and managers level or all, because sometimes managers also will be as part of the technical discussions, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
And
yes, yes.
but ideally managers will sit and then listen what the tech guys are saying. Rather, we also have to be in a position to guide them or suggest them. So why can't we think in this way, or why can't we do in this way? So that questioning also we can do.
Yes.
Because meaning we require to have the experience on end-to-end things, at least the knowledge on end-to-end things.
Yes,
So
yes.
that knowledge or experience 100% you guys will get here. Okay.
Thank you.
So prerequisite, no prerequisite is required is what all the Amirpet folks will do. But ideally speaking, Linux is required. Linux is required. But that Linux will cover here. That is the reason no prerequisite is what we will mention usually. So no prerequisite is required is false. Linux is required. But this Linux we will cover as part of the course. So ideally, don't know the Linux, also happily attend these sessions, because first the Linux will be started and then the DevOps tools will be started. So prerequisite is no prerequisite required, Linux is required. Both are contradictory statements, but yes, Linux is what we will cover from the basics of the Linux, scratch of the Linux. That is the reason no prerequisites is required. Okay, so this is about the course, how I was designed and all. And tomorrow we will see the DevOps course content and then the AWS course content. And what is the outcome? What is the outcome of this course? What is the outcome of this course? Meaning how you will get benefited after learning, meaning once after completed this course, what you will get benefited, like not Durga soft certificate and all I'm talking about. I'm talking about technically where you will be. So those things we will discuss tomorrow. Meaning the production architecture, what we're going to set up using the AWS, and in that production architecture, how the scalability, how the security, how the replications, all these things, how we will implement, and CI/CD, how automation is what we will include. We'll discuss tomorrow. So that's all for today. DevOps course content and then the AWS course content I'll explain tomorrow. And also we will see the expectation. What is the expectation goal of this course? That goal finally we need to achieve. Any questions for me?
Any regular classes when he is going to start, sir?
Yes, regular classes only now started at 8:15, right? So
Timings?
8:15.
Sir. Can you please change the evening time?
Evening time, no, evening time already my slots are there. They are going on now actually. 7 p.m. one DevOps is going on. 8 p.m. one DevOps.
That is okay, sir. But I am a Spring Boot and microservice class I am doing. But I am also interested on this course also. So
Okay.
the continuum is going on, but I can't do gap I wanted.
Okay. Actually, this is designed to have now at 8:15, and after 20 days or after 30 days, it will be moved back to again 7 a.m. The same course is moved back to 7 a.m. But for now, at least coming 20 days, it will be at 8:15 a.m. Okay.
So
Okay,
what
sir,
is it?
can you? Okay, sir. Can you please reduce the fees for 10,000?
That's okay. Those things, meaning those things talk to backend team. As you already have taken many courses of mine, maybe they will definitely they definitely will consider that. Just talk to them and then let me know. If I will be able to do any help, I can do that.
Sir, is it daily classes?
Daily classes from 8:15 a.m. to 9 a.m. let us conduct for coming 15 to 20 days. After that, let us start at 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 7 a.m. to 8:30. 1.5 hour session let us take every day.
What about Saturday, Sunday also, or
no Sunday? And classes will be from the Monday to Saturday.
Monday to Saturday, 1.5 hour session.
1.5 hour. Yes, no classes on Sunday.
Okay. This is 4 months course, right?
4 months course. Yes, this is a 4 months course. And tomorrow we get more clarity why it will take 4 months. I will split the course content and then let you know, guys, how it will take 4 months.
Hey, actually, I was thinking to have a 2 months course. So, is there any possibility for 2 months?
2 months actually, if we can spend some time in weekends, longer sessions like on Saturdays and Sundays, we can definitely take it up to 3 months, not 2 months, because concepts are very vast, and the concepts Kubernetes and then Docker, these two will take around 45 days around. That means, see, out of these 120 days, 45 days went for only Docker and Kubernetes. And AWS will take again 30 days to 45 days. That means what? 30 days if we take, or Docker and Kubernetes 30 days if we can take max. 60 days is going for only the cloud and then the Docker Kubernetes. Then we have only remaining 60 days to set up this CI/CD pipeline and all, isn't it? But AWS will take around 45 days. Docker and Kubernetes will take around 30 to 35 days.
Sir, quick question. Are we covering Grafana, DLK?
Yes, those are all, yes, those are all we are covering. However, about the course content, I'll explain tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, I'm stopping my screen share as I have to jump to another session. See you tomorrow.
So, what is the meeting ID for the 9 a.m. thing, the AWS that we're gonna start now?
Meeting ID. Can you quickly call back to team, because the meeting ID they usually will send a link to me, so I will click on that link and then log in.
So even we also don't know, sir. At least you should inform to us who was joined today.
That is true.
Yeah, because I joined recently. Yeah, I didn't get any. The videos are shared to me. The recorded videos are shared, but I didn't get the meeting invitation or something.
Let me quickly check the DevOps with AWS. Let me quickly check AWS. You mean 9 a.m. or AWS is going on 8 p.m. also?
8 p.m. But I thought of joining in the morning.
Okay. Otherwise, can you call to the backend team just in case?
Sir, can you mention the number, sir, here, or can you post it?
I'm just looking at.
What about, sir, if I have any doubt and during the practice, if anyone can help us?
Yes. Actually, Telegram link is what we are creating. So in that Telegram link, I will be available to you guys.
Okay, can help any doubts or something.
Yes.
Or faculty, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, folks. I have to rush to another session. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Yes, I got the host access. Let me share my screen. Fine. Hope all of you able to see my screen, I believe. And this is what the course discussion we have done. Duration is 4 months. Fee is 12K INR. And the access provided for you is the recorded videos with the 8 months validity. Live recorded videos with 8 months validity, soft copy of the material, Google Classroom access for accessing the material, source code of the source code repository will be shared to you, where it contains the 6 projects. These 6 projects we will do the automation using this DevOps. And to automate these 6 projects, we will use the AWS infrastructure. I mean, to automate, we'll use DevOps tools only, but the infrastructure we will use is the infrastructure we will use is the AWS. However, slowly I'll explain all the things. So who can learn the DevOps, and what are the DevOps tools that we should have to learn, and we will discuss by doing some market analysis. Who can learn the DevOps? Anyone can take the DevOps with AWS course, and who are already in IT career now, like Java developers, Python developers, or maybe testers, whatever it is, who are in already in IT career but would like to get more career growth, the best option is for to go this DevOps. And who are now doing non-IT jobs and wants to start your IT career, also you can start. And who don't have programming technology or language knowledge or experience, those also can look at this DevOps course. DevOps with cloud, one cloud, any of the cloud. DevOps with
Sir,
any of the cloud.
yes,
Yeah.
sir, I want to contact, but how many courses, how many class courses will be covering from this, series?
How many tools?
How many tools will come? How many tools will covering from this, in this course?
That is what we will discuss. Today's topic is that only. I'll explain what we'll cover. Yeah. Okay. So prerequisite for this is no prerequisite is required. That is really false. Linux is required. But why still I have written no prerequisite is required? Whatever the Linux is required also will teach here. I'll teach this Linux to the moderate level, whatever required for a DevOps engineer. Till completion of your course, you will be become to a moderate level expert on the Linux platform usage. However, so what are the DevOps tools that we have to learn? Okay, who can learn the DevOps is done, right? And basically, why we have to learn the DevOps? Why we have to learn the DevOps? This also, if you can understand, then let us go to the tools part. Why we have to learn DevOps? DevOps is automating. DevOps is automating the process of application build. Maybe you might not get what is application, what is, assume application meaning your Facebook, application meaning your Gmail. So that application build meaning what, for example, did you observe your mobile applications are asking you to update sometimes, correct? When you're trying to open a mobile application, it will ask you to update the application. That means what? A new build came, a new version of it came to your Play Store. So similarly, releasing such new versions to the users usage, customers usage is what, deployment. So that release is what now? That is called a build. For example, few features are updated. Phone pay you can take. Maybe 2 to 3 features or they will introduce, and then they will ask us to update our application. If we update, we'll get those new features. The 2 to 3 features implementation is called what? The build. Okay. So DevOps is automating the process of application, automating the process from application build to application deployment. Here deployment meaning just making the application available in your Play Store. That's it. Kind of same scenario here. Just understand, making an application available in the Play Store is called what? Deployment. Just consider. So DevOps is automating the process from application build to application deployment with the quality assessment. The quality assessment with the quality assessment with the quality assessment. So due to this automation, one day work is completing in just 1 hour. In just 1 hour. 1 week work is completing in just 1 day. 1 month work is completing in just 1 week. Just 1 week. So as we will get the more productivity in the sense completing very quick, very fast, right? So due to this faster delivery, of the applications to the customers, the companies are the companies are getting more benefited by taking more work and by making company more revenue and thus making company more revenue. You got it, na? Because 1 day work, 1 day meaning 8 hours. 8 hours work we are completing in 1 day, just 1 hour. 8 hours work we are completing in just 1 hour. What about the remaining 7 hours? We'll get a new work for that 7 hours. For that new work, we'll get more money, isn't it? We'll get more money. So that is the reason the billing of a DevOps resource is highly, billing of a DevOps resource is high, very high. What is this meaning? Is the clients who want us to work on this DevOps projects automation, who wants us to automate the applications, right? So they will give the more and more money, more salaries, per hourly basis they will pay more actually, right? So as the pay is more, why pay is more? Because client is getting the application. For example, I am a person, I have a assume flower shop. So usually what I did actually, I have my flower shop where all the people will come to my flower shop in the morning, and then they will purchase the flowers and then they'll take it to their home. Now I got a very good feedback from the customers. Now I want to build a mobile application where they can book the whatever the flowers they want, so that the delivery boys will go and then deliver those flowers to them. Assume I want such a mobile application. That mobile application will be delivered for me within the 1 week by taking more money. I'm so happy, right? I don't bother about the money. I will bother about my business, right? So rather taking 1 month and then giving the application, rather giving the application for 5 rupees in 1 month, you take 10 rupees and then give me the application in 1 week, right? Because our business will be definitely, we'll get more business if the application is ready. That is what the fund other companies are following now, the clients are following now, right? So application automation is happening application releases is happening very quick. So that is the reason the companies are looking to use these DevOps for all the projects. So when the DevOps is there for every project, DevOps resources are also required. DevOps in the sense DevOps with cloud, one cloud I mean to say. Compulsory. DevOps meaning without cloud there is no meaning for the DevOps. DevOps meaning including cloud only. One cloud mandatory. Okay. So when the DevOps, when the applications are automating using the DevOps, then the DevOps resources need also like that. That is the reason there are more opportunities there were on the DevOps tools or the DevOps career. Meaning DevOps job role have a more opportunities nowadays. Okay, billing of DevOps resources is very high, and billing of the DevOps resources is very high, but in market there were a shortage of the DevOps complete DevOps engineer with the complete skill set. So what is this complete skill set the companies are looking for? Let us understand. So companies are looking for the DevOps engineer with complete skill set. What is this complete skill set mean? Though the complete skill set is not available in the market yet, still they are taking the resources. What is the complete skill set meaning is, for example, if you can see this pipeline. So this is what a pipeline that we need to build. Now what is happening, few members are with the skill set of Jenkins only. Few members are with the skill set of Ansible only. Few members are skill set of the Docker and Kubernetes only. And few members are with the Jenkins, SonarQube, Artifactories only. Like that, there were shortage of the resources who know all these things from end to end. There were a shortage of resources who know all these things from end to end. That is called a complete skill set. So here complete skill set meaning, right? Complete skill set. So complete skill set meaning, the resource who can handle the CI/CD. What is CI/CD? I'll explain. Going forward, we'll see. CI/CD pipeline. Complete skill set meaning the resource who can handle the CI/CD pipeline on their own from end to end, or their own end to end, on their own end to end. So that is the reason. Still the opportunities are more
They're not able to hear.
నేను తీసుకోలేదు నాన్న వద్దా సరే ఇదిగో పొద్దున పిల్ల బాత్రూమ్ వచ్చి చెప్పింది నేను బాత్రూమ్ లో ఉన్నా అప్పుడు బాత్రూమ్ కడికే వచ్చింది బాత్ వచ్చింది నేను లోపల ఉన్నా పిలుస్తుంది అమ్మాయి 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 అని
Hey Gangadhar, can you put yourself in mute?
సరే ఉంటున్నారు
హలో హలో సార్ మీ వాయిస్ రాలేదు స్క్రీన్ షేర్ కాలేదు సార్ హలో హలో సార్ హలో
SAR is not available actually. I think network issue or something. Anyone is there in management side? Durga Soft. Hello.
హలో
Sir, Narsi sir is not joined actually. He's yeah.
క్లోజ్
Can you
చేశారా
please-
Yeah, sorry guys, my mission got stuck and hence I just rejoined back. So sorry. Thanks
No,
for
no
joining.
problem. No problem, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me get the host access one more time and then continue. I'll request for the host access one more time. Just give me a moment. I'll request for the host access. Yeah, I got the host access. I'm sharing my screen now. Yes. Yes, so we are now discussing about the why we should have to learn the DevOps. So complete skill set resources are still lack in the market, and hence if we grab that opportunity of learning and then doing end-to-end pipeline setup and then maintenance, 100% we will get a good opportunities. Now in DevOps, market is looking for exactly what kind of skill set resources. So for that, let us do some market analysis. Let me open DevOps engineer. DevOps engineer salary in India. And there is a site called Ambition Box. Let me open that Ambition Box site. Even Glassdoor, Upgrade also you can open. And there were a lot of sites, JobTed, all those things. But out of all these things, I strongly believe this Ambition Box, because these guys are accurate information will be provided by these guys. And also in this site, they are giving the tools what are commonly expecting by the companies. This is kind of AI based, not AI, but they are aggregating all the metrics and then showing us in a simple way. However, if you can see the DevOps engineer salary for a fresher is now 6 lakhs per annum with very good high confidence. High confidence in the sense, very high confidence means that data is based on a large number of responses. So based on 39.3K salaries, around 40,000 members' salaries, they were aggregated, I mean, they analyzed and then come to this graph that, minimum CTC for a fresher is starting now at 6 lakhs per annum. That's a minimum. Any company, if I start the company, I have to give this money. I mean, usually this is what the market standard now. I will come to this salaries section later in time. First, let us go and then see the DevOps jobs. DevOps jobs. Let me just type DevOps. Right. So there were a lot of jobs published here. It's like Naukri portal as well. So DevOps lead salary in India or Seont. So they are also providing the job details as well. Here, let me write DevOps. Just let me search for it. Perfect. DevOps engineer. 15 hours ago, DevOps engineer, Sony India Software Center Private Limited, Bangalore location. They published the job for 4 to 9 years of experienced candidate. The skill set they are asking for what? What I will do is, let me open, okay, we'll do one thing. Let me copy all this skill set, what they are now expecting. Okay, and let us look at more job roles, more jobs, and let us filter out what exactly they are meaning, which they are more or most frequently they are expecting. What is the most common tools they are expecting in the market? Let us see them. Okay, this is for the company called DevOps Engineer, Sony India Services Private Limited. Sony India Company Private Limited for the DevOps Engineer role. If we can see, hope you are able to see my screen, right? If we can see, Java knowledge, they are asking some GERT or GERIT. We don't know what are is, even I don't know. But commonly they are asking for Bash, Jenkins, DevOps, CI and CD, Docker, Cloud, Ansible, Database, Agile, AWS, Linux, and Python programming language experience, or maybe the knowledge, we don't know. Java experience or the knowledge. So basically, this is the skill set they published. In this skill set, if you can see, Jenkins, DevOps, CI/CD, Docker, Cloud, Ansible, Agile, AWS, Linux. Let me copy it and then take it in a separate text pad. Okay, now let us go and then look at the other job opportunity. What is that? Senior software principal engineer, 5G layer 2 architecture. This is also required the DevOps CI/CD, and they are asking for the Kubernetes. So DevOps CI/CD cloud, they didn't mention what cloud they want, but they mentioned DevOps CI/CD cloud and then Kubernetes. Okay, let us scroll down. Software engineer. So here in the software engineer also, they are asking Docker, Kubernetes, Python, Kafka, DevOps, performance tuning, and all. So Docker, Kubernetes. If you can see, the two job roles, the two jobs are asked, Docker and Kubernetes. Okay, then next. In fact, we have to look for the DevOps jobs. Okay, I think this is the common DevOps keyword they have taken, and then they published these things. Now, if you can see, 13 hours ago, Dell published what they are looking for. They are looking for Docker, Kubernetes, Linux, Jenkins, CI/CD, GitHub, and of course other things also there. And what is this company? Dell. So Dell is the company looking for what? These tools: Jenkins, DevOps, Linux, Docker, GitHub, debugging, CI/CD, Groovy, Python, and Kubernetes. One programming language they might expecting as the knowledge, but that is not even mandatory to have. So if you have the complete DevOps tools experience or knowledge, the programming languages knowledge or experience is not matter. It is not a matter. And if you can see this software principal engineer, they are expecting DevOps, Kubernetes, and Docker. DevOps, Docker, Kubernetes, and of course microservices knowledge. And the principal software engineer. These are not our DevOps roles for sure, but if we can understand what they are expecting, DevOps, Docker, CI/CD, Kubernetes, right? And let us scroll down. Here, if you can see, DevOps, DevOps they expected, they are expecting DevOps, and then this they are expecting related to some other technology. Of course, DevOps, Kubernetes is there, and then DevOps at JP Morgan, what they're expecting? They're expecting the DevOps, AWS, Putty, of course, Jenkins, Bitbucket. So this is what they are expecting. If you can see, DevOps, Jenkins, AWS is there. Now, DevOps architect. So for this role, what they're expecting? They're expecting role is DevOps architect, but they have not clearly mentioned what they are looking for, this one. Okay, so this is one thing, and if you can see, this DevOps lead is the guy, and the common tools what they are expecting for this job role. Let us see. Yes, these are all the common tools that are expecting in the market: DevOps, AWS, Docker, Kubernetes, Python, Linux, Terraform, Jenkins, Ansible, automation, Git, configuration management, Azure, Agile, GCP. So this is what for all the DevOps leads, not even DevOps engineers. So DevOps engineers are no need to be with all this skill set, in fact, isn't it? So let me copy this and then go to here. Now let me go little top, and here this is what they are expecting. DevOps, AWS, Docker, Kubernetes, Python, Linux, and Terraform, Jenkins, Ansible, automation, Git, configuration management, Azure, Agile, GCP. This is what the skill set they are expecting. Now, coming to our course content. Okay, before going to our course content, don't worry. Python or the Groovy or the Java they are asking, right? That is just a knowledge. No need to be have an experience on it. If we don't have also, that is fine. Now, can you guys observe or can you help me writing the common skill set what they're expecting now? By looking into this, can you help me? What is a common skill set they are looking for? Common skill set. Common skill set they are looking for. Docker. Okay. Jenkins. Yeah, Jenkins. If you can see the Jenkins, it is in all. Then DevOps concepts. Linux, yes. DevOps concepts. Jenkins. Kubernetes. Docker. Right? So Docker, Kubernetes, CI/CD. They're commonly expecting Ansible, right? So Ansible here and then Ansible here, right?
Any cloud provider.
Python expecting, the knowledge is expecting. If we don't have also, that is okay.
Cloud provider.
Cloud provider, one of the cloud it is expecting, either AWS or whatever it is, one cloud it is expecting, right? So let us write down those tools now. Git and then Jenkins.
Marvin.
Just look at these tools and then let us finalize what are they expecting. So Git, Jenkins, then Docker, then Kubernetes, then Terraform, then Linux, then AWS. These are the tools.
Ansible.
Ansible. And these are all concepts wise they are expecting CI/CD. Concepts wise they're expecting CI/CD and then the DevOps. Okay, let us do more analysis. This is for the lead role. So CNT is also expecting the DevOps engineers. So who is giving 5,56,000, around 6 lakhs it is giving. And what they're commonly expecting from the DevOps. See this. DevOps concepts, AWS, Python, Git, Linux, coding, GitHub, monitoring, scripting, Agile, Ansible, analytics. Right? So any DevOps job role you will take nowadays. Any DevOps job role you will take nowadays. Git and GitHub may be similar source code management repository tool. Jenkins, Docker and Kubernetes, Linux. Docker, Kubernetes, Linux, Ansible, AWS. These are all common tools. Any job role you will take. You'll go to Naukri, Monster, anywhere you will go. These are the common tools that we can see. Why they are expecting such a, why they are giving, huge importance to this Docker and Kubernetes. You can see Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins, right? And Linux, AWS. This is the most they are expecting. So what is our course is covering? What are the
What
tools?
about CI/CD pipeline, sir?
Here it is. CI/CD pipeline is the concepts. They're expecting the CI/CD experience and then the DevOps concepts experience. Concepts, how we will implement it. Okay. However, now let us see what are all the tools that we are using. So Git and GitHub. Let us go to our architecture diagram. Hope you will be able to see this architecture diagram. What we are using, Git and then the GitHub. Then we are using the Jenkins with the master slave architecture. Jenkins with master slave architecture, very helpful. Then Maven, right? If you can see this, Maven. Then Sonar Cube, Maven. Then Sonar Cube. Then JFrog or Nexus Artifactory. JFrog or Nexus Artifactory. Then Ansible. Then Docker. Then Kubernetes. Then Grafana and Prometheus. Then CI/CD of microservices, right? And then DevOps concepts like waterfall model, and then the agile model, right? Waterfall model, agile model, continuous integration, continuous delivery, or continuous deployment, and then dark deployment. In this CD, we'll discuss these things like dark deployment, blue, green deployment. Dark deployment is the concept following nowadays, even now, by the Facebook since 2011. However, so these are all the concepts that we will use in our CI/CD pipeline in our DevOps course. So Git and then GitHub, Jenkins with master slave architecture, Docker, Kubernetes with the HA architecture, high available architecture, Grafana and Prometheus, CI/CD microservices, DevOps concepts. So this is what we're gonna see. And before starting, okay, and also what we are covering, AWS 20 plus services. We are covering AWS 20 plus services. So this is what the tools that we are using in our course.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, you are saying AWS only, but Google Cloud is there, IBM Cloud is there. But you are same only, otherwise you can different commands you can use this.
Cloud to cloud underlying platform is cloud architecture platform only.
But,
Architecture.
Google Cloud also we can use it now, sir.
Correct. But you know why we are using AWS is most commonly AWS is already occupied 58% of the global market share. That means AWS is using by the most of the companies on the globe, and hence the requirement for the AWS resources will be more compared to others. That is the reason we have chosen the AWS as the cloud provider with these DevOps concepts. Okay. And next cloud, if you are really interested, would like to parallelly learn one more cloud, then go for the GCP. go for the.
It's okay, sir. But for no AWS, you can work it on Google Cloud also.
Correct. Yes. What if we know the experience of the cloud? If you know the concepts of the cloud, the concepts are same everywhere. How they are implementing is different, but concepts might be the same. Concept same. For example, AWS having a code commit repository, Azure having the Azure repository, AWS is having the S3 bucket, Azure having the Azure blob storage. Concept is same, but their implementation is different. Got it? Huh?
Are we covering ELK, Splunk?
Not a Splunk, but covering EFK. Thank you. Actually, I missed it. EFK, Elasticsearch, Fluentd, and Kibana. This is what we are covering. Graph and Prometheus, EFK.
No Logstash.
No Logstash. In the place of Logstash, we are taking what this Fluentd because of we are using the Kubernetes. So Kubernetes containers are easily Kubernetes parts are easily integratable with this Fluentd database. That is the reason. Fine. So this is what the AWS tools DevOps tools that we will use throughout our course content. And each and every tool.
Let's see, like what about EC2 and ELB?
Those are AWS concepts. We will discuss 20 plus services are there. Na? In 20 plus services, again, the AWS services, EC2 will come, IAM will come, EBS will come, EFS will come, all these things. AWS, that is separate, AWS 20 plus services. We'll discuss AWS services tomorrow.
Yeah, Narsi, I have one more doubt because when you check the apart from the Indian market, outside of the Indian market, okay, we have the expectation on the DevOps with the background of knowledge on the development with the DevOps engineer. What exactly? Because what they expect if they want the development background with the DevOps means how their expectations would be.
Okay, so basically, development background is not required. Development background is not required, but if a developer also can learn and then do all these things, that is really awesome. But what is the real expectation of a DevOps engineer is? What is the real expectation of for a DevOps engineer is, DevOps is a culture, first of all. So a DevOps engineer may work on different technologies, meaning DevOps engineer may work on configuring the CI/CD pipeline for different technologies. Maybe Java, maybe .NET, maybe Python, maybe Node.js, maybe Groovy, whatever it is. So all these programming technologies, programming languages, knowledge, having all these programming languages knowledge is really difficult. It is highly impossible even. That is the reason DevOps engineers need to be always in sync or always in communication with the development team. So at least DevOps engineer should have an idea, not an experience, but an idea like how the Java applications we can deploy, how the React.js applications we can deploy, how the Python application we can deploy. At least an idea, not the programming level, but an idea. For example, Java applications, again, two types, Maven build, Gradle build. So how to set up this Maven build, how to set up the Gradle build. At least these concepts we should have to know. For example, .NET applications are there. We don't need to have the .NET, but we have to know how the .NET application will be built and deployed. For that, we have to talk to developers. We have to get the knowledge on how it built and then deployed. Then only we can start our automation process. That is the expectation. Got it? Huh?
Yeah, got it. And I have one more question. Like, see, uh, previously, because the DevOps came into the picture is from the infra, like they want to make the shared services as one group, because we should previously we have the middleware engineers who can do this all the scripting and all the deployments things. Okay, how would be the like if you pick like middleware plus with DevOps, how would be the view of the market, or how would be the challenging when once you want to mix two different technologies into one resume?
The first thing is what middleware technologies, uh, making them as pipeline is really a challenging one. For example, mm, JBoss server is there. Just I'm telling an example, and
Mhm.
then some product is there. Let's say
Yeah,
uh, WebSphere is the server,
data
or
power MQ.
RabbitMQ. These are all nothing. These are all having the Docker images. We can easily automate them. But
No,
coming to
IBM Explorer MQ and the data power, because
uh,
whatever the microservices we are using,
mm,
that would residing on the data power, right? Web services calls
correct,
we used to have on the data power.
correct.
Like now, if you mix the two different culture into one resume, how would it would be the weightage, and how we can fetch the market?
Definitely, weightage will be there, but the thing is what we have to correlate these two. Resume we can apply, but the more
Okay.
interesting point, we have to justify how these two got into the same platform. For example, WebSphere is there and all. So how we were automated it. WebSphere is the server, or the JBoss is the server. How we were automated it. So basically, automation concept we will use for the continuous build and then the deployments. That means if the source code is there and
Mm-hmm.
source code we are writing to
Mm-hmm.
deliver something very quickly, we will use this automation process. For example, JBoss, if we take JBoss source code, we won't write, right? JBoss is not our thing. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever the source code we will write, or our company is writing for them to deliver that source code as an application very fast, quickly, we will go for this CI/CD concept.
Okay,
But
CI/CD concept would be only mostly for the develop like application deployments. The
application, correct, continuous integration, continuous delivery or deployment. It is
Mhm.
related to applications. But these applications require the infrastructure. So
Yeah,
application require the infrastructure to deploy. That
yeah.
infrastructure setup we will automate using the Terraform and all. So how we can mix these two? The middlewares we can automate using the Terraform,
Mm-hmm.
and those middlewares will those middlewares will be used by the CI/CD pipeline to deploy the applications continuously into that infra. So how we can merge these two? The middleware we can automate, the infra we can automate, but not the
Mm-hmm.
deployments, not integrations. Infra we can automate. For example, JBoss, I want one more instance. We can spin
Mm-hmm.
it up and put behind one LB so that it can be auto scalable, isn't it? So that infra level we can automate.
Mm-hmm. See, this would be a challenging the guy who is from the middleware coming and taking up the challenging of the DevOps. That would be a challenging to the middleware guys.
Uh, Definitely, because the middleware guys, most of the cases, the middleware tools we are using are the proprietary tools, and we will use the tools but not the source code. Tool
That's right. That's
for
right.
some
Yeah.
purpose we will use.
Yeah.
So the tool will come into the infrastructure. Tool will come into the infrastructure automation, but not into this CI/CD.
Yeah, because we use the Python or the Jackal or Jython we will be using for the automation of those infrastructures. Okay,
Mm,
and
mm,
we will be using the Jenkins, as you said that we will be using the Jenkins for the
mm,
deployment or urban code or UC code,
mm,
GitHub for the infrastructure automation parts. or Rundeck. Those are all the tools, because I seen the same tools we are using on the DevOps as well. That is what, because I'm trying to understand what exactly there is a lot of difference, or there won't be any difference, or there would be a challenging thing. That is what I'm trying to understand.
Challenging will be there. Lot of difference, um, two things here actually. So the code deployment, that is what I'm telling actually. Code deployment, whatever our microservices or whatever it is, the code deployment will be handled using the pipeline. But where it need to deploy is altogether is the infra, where it need to go as a target. So that is the infra. That infra is how we can automate. We have to see that is not coming to the DevOps one. Infra automation will come into what actually the Terraform concepts. Terraform is a separate framework, so which we will use for the infra automation. Now, when the infra will be automated, accordingly, the CI/CD pipelines will also get adjusted. What I mean to say is, for example, one code is there. That code need to be deployed in the assume the WebSphere server. So the build artifact, whatever we got, that build artifact we are deploying into our WebSphere server. So that WebSphere server, maybe 2 instances we have. Then how the 2 instances can be able to deployable with this artifact that we're going to deploy using the Jenkins is what the matter now. Meaning, the connectivity of the infra to this pipeline is a complex thing. In the case of the middlewares, there we into little struggle. Is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if you want, because see, if I say that infra is an already existing vast environment would be there, and if you want to migrate that into the DevOps or the Kubernetes, we will be using some plugins, or like there we have to build the things from the scratch.
Not required actually. For example, as you said, IBM is there. So IBM might already providing some kind of containerization technique. So maybe Docker images kind like that. He might have the images or containerization technique.
IIB, yeah, that's IIB.
Exactly. That
the containers what we will be using the IIB, and that IIB will be using the Kubernetes.
Exactly. So Kubernetes is required what the container technology, containerization platform, where it
Got
takes the images. So it will be get deployed.
Okay. Basically, the Kubernetes architecture would be our infra. That's right.
Kubernetes architecture will be our infra. Correct.
Okay. Got it. Now, if you want to migrate, or if you want to give a pipelines, everything we would be implementing or giving a connection. Whatever the old existing environment, we will be giving those pipelines to the our Kubernetes architecture.
Exactly correct.
Yeah,
exactly correct. So that is what we'll do. Ansible will do. Ansible is called as a configuration management tool. Parallel processing technique it will use, and then it will connect to the infra servers and then make the deployment happen.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, folks. Is it mandatory for a DevOps engineer to have knowledge about service connections? Service, no, not required. What is service connections? Not required. Service to service communication, that is all the developer's headache. Being a DevOps engineers, we are very, very, liberative. What I mean to say, you have to think in your pipeline way only. For example, developer need to give us a Docker image. One moment, guys. I'm just pinging the message to the next batch. We have a session tomorrow. Yeah, sorry. Yes. So developer might be write the code, and we have to expect the code behavior from the developer, like how it will be work. So that is the reason DevOps is a culture. For example, if you can see this production architecture, if we can take this production architecture, so personals, let me give you the production architecture overview, because this is what we have to achieve nowadays. If you attend the interview, interviewers are asking, what are microservices? Did you deploy the microservices? If deployed, then what is the challenges that you have faced? So in microservices, the biggest barrier that we have is the microservices communication. What I mean to say is, I believe you all able to see my screen, isn't it? So here are the microservices. Everywhere you can see VPC, isn't it? So I'll explain it later in time, but if you can see, these are all the microservices now. So categories service, product service, order service, payment service, each and every microservice will get automated using the CI/CD pipeline. Now, when this microservice is communicating with this microservice, it is a pod to pod communication for us in Kubernetes terminology. Container to container communication in Docker terminology. So DevOps engineers no need to worry about what is the inbuilt mechanism of their communication. Nothing. We don't require. Altogether, what we need to think about, this is one Docker container. This is one Docker container. How do I make these two Docker containers communicatable? That's it. That is what our job. But what they have written, how they have written, we don't require. So how these are communicating? So we have some techniques, some Docker Compose orchestrations, concept called orchestration we will use. And if the communication is not achievable, we should have to tell to the development team, like, hey guys, you have to expose your configuration in a environmental way. What I mean to say is, just let me showcase. These are all why I am discussing now is just to give you the confidence. Let me showcase you one thing. Deployment repo, dev applications. If you can see here, this is one simple application. One simple application deployment, not simple application, of course, but one application deployment having these 7 files here, Kubernetes files, and then here 5 files, total of 12 files, 12 to 13 files we have to write. So why I'm showing this is, we have to guide the developers to accept, their code should have to be accept the values from the environment variables. I repeat one more time. We have to ask them to write the code in such a way, accept or expect something from the environment variables, so that such environment configurations we can pass from this Kubernetes or Docker, whatever the files we can pass from there. Now, service to service communication, if that is the case, if you can see in Kubernetes, I'm talking about, we have here one service, we have here another service. So what we will do, service discovery, networking concepts we will discuss, Kubernetes networking, Docker networking. There is a concept called service discovery. How that service discovery? See this, the config map, if I just open, see this is the service discovery. The name of the service that we would like to talk to, and in which namespace it is. I'll explain all these things. Probably I answered your question, right? This question is asked by whom? This question is asked by someone, but yeah. Will you cover Terraform also? Yes, Terraform also I will cover, but not complete Terraform. Terraform, whichever is required for automating the EC2 instances, VPC, meaning our production architecture. I think I have not showcased the production architecture, isn't it? So our final production architecture, I think I already have shown, but our final production architecture automation is what we will I will cover. Terraform I will cover till automation of our production architecture. Our production architecture, if you automate it using the Terraform, then the same concepts you can apply and then automate any complex applications as well. So go here, but Terraform is a separate concept. which will take around 45 days to complete. I'm not going into that deeper. I'm going into the Terraform concepts, which will help us to automate this infrastructure, isn't it? Like EC2s, VPCs, and all. Yeah. Any more questions for me?
What is shell scripting, sir? Shell scripting.
Shell scripting will be there. Shell scripting in the sense, let me showcase. Shell scripting in the sense, let me showcase that. One example I will tell you of the shell scripting. It is just like, very easy, like writing, WhatsApp chat messages, Facebook chat messages. That's it, really. I'll showcase that how it will be. Shell scripting in the sense, we are going to use the Linux platform, isn't it? That Linux platform will be on that Linux platform, we will be give the commands to talk to that. Now Windows, I'm talking to the Windows platform, isn't it? To talk to Windows platform, I'm pressing on this one and then giving D or giving A, whatever it is, or I'm going here and then opening the document, because I have a graphical user interface, right? I'm using the Windows operating system, which is having a nice GUI. In the case of Linux, we don't have this GUI. That is the reason we have to work with in order to work with the Linux, we have to work with the shells, bash shell. We have to work with the bash shell. Got it, right?
Yes.
Narsi,
Yes.
like, could you help us with the Terraforms to develop an infrastructure so that it would be fetching a lot to us, to me especially. That adds to me a lot.
Yeah, what I'm saying is actually Terraform contains a lot of concepts. All those concepts I don't cover. What I will cover is understanding the Terraform, writing the Terraform scripts for automating our infrastructure. Like we have to automate the Kubernetes worker nodes, automate this virtual private cloud.
Parts. Yeah.
So this level I will explain, because there are
to create the cluster as well, right? The pod clusters.
Exactly.
Worker nodes,
Correct.
and the slaves. Those parts would be covering in this Terraforms, right?
Correct. Yes. So till automation, this deployment of this Kubernetes cluster, and then increase, adding the worker nodes to the cluster, and then adding the replications. All these things we will automate using the Terraform. But what I'm saying is Terraform, rather than this, it having a lot of concepts, certification level concepts are there, which are I'm not.
Yeah, that's why my next question you answered me. Okay.
Yeah, because wallets are there. Terraform, if we use Terraform, we have to use the wallets.
Yeah, that's right. So that's we are using in real time, but if you give us some idea on that, that would be a lot.
Yeah, sure. That definitely will be there as part of our course content. Okay. Yeah.
How do we set up this in our local system, or should we just directly use the AWS or something?
Okay. Usually we will set up this on the AWS cloud platform only. AWS cloud platform. Nothing, I don't encourage to have it in our local. Nothing will be in our local. Everything let us take on the AWS platform only. That is the reason. First I will start AWS, then I will start the DevOps. First I will start the AWS. Let me showcase how we will take it just in a overview, just to take showing how many machines we will take. And that is the reason I'm asking you guys, you also have to sometimes pay for them, because it is not a hello world, or maybe welcome to Java, welcome to DevOps. No, it is not such kind of applications we're gonna deploy. We're gonna deploy a real time similar applications we're gonna deploy, which is around 1 GB or minimum 600 MB of its size. What I'm explaining is now, what I'm trying to explaining is now, if we can see this entire pipeline, we will set up with the AWS infrastructure. In that AWS infrastructure, we will use the concepts of VPCs and also these are all will be in the private zone, and only Jenkins will be in the public zone. So likewise, there is a load balancers and all will come. So everything we will set up in the AWS platform. See this? These are all the machines that we need to set up. These are all the machines. Around 12 to 13 machines will come. Right? So if you can see Kubernetes, Docker, Kubernetes 3 machines, and NFS server 4 machine, Kubernetes 4 machines, then Docker 1 machine, Jenkins 2 machines, Ansible 1 machine, SonarQube is 1 machine, and then the JFrog is another machine, ELK server 1 machine, Grafana is another machine. Likewise, we will take around 12 to 13 machines in our CI/CD pipeline. And these 12 to 13 machines we have to automate using the Terraform. See how beauty it is, right? If we really achieve this, we will achieve it actually. It's not a big deal. It's a matter of time. Okay. Got it? Huh? I'm answering
Got
the
it.
question.
Yes. So because I think most of the people are using the office's laptop, so we have certain limitations to install some sort of things too. That's why I asked.
So let us go with the cloud platform. To that cloud platform, let us connect through the tools like Putty, WinSCP, Moba Extern. I'll explain once we started. I'll explain. Fine.
Okay.
So that's all, folks. If you don't have anything for me, tomorrow let us see a detailed course content on AWS.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so actually you are saying that you will be after some time you start the class at 7 o'clock.
Correct.
Can you make it 7:30, sir?
That's okay. Most of the people, if the most of the people is okay for 7:30, that is okay for me. Half an hour doesn't matter. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, folks. Thank you so much for your presence, for joining this session demo 2. Let us join tomorrow as well, and then in-depth course content understanding in the DevOps and then AWS. Let us start with the AWS. Maybe after tomorrow, let us start AWS concepts. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. Yes, so this is the demo 3 because we started on 16, 17, 18. So demo 3. And however, you might have now know about the course details and all, right? So let me directly jump to the concept like what we discussed yesterday. We discussed yesterday the concept like the DevOps tools we will use throughout this course, and also the architecture, whatever the architecture we're gonna implement, that is what we have seen yesterday, isn't it? So the architecture in the sense, let me just open the DevOps course content. So there I have drafted an architecture. So that architecture is what we will implement with all these tools, and then the uh, uh, tools and then frameworks or the technologies what we discussed yesterday. By using all those things, we will implement this. This is what we're gonna implement, right? So what is an outcome? What is an outcome of this course? Being a DevOps engineer, you will be able to do a complete CI/CD pipeline setup on your own, right? And also you will get a knowledge equivalent to the 5+ years of experienced guy who having now the DevOps experience, 5+ years of experience. How the person will be, you also will be like on the same confidence, same level of experience if you really practice well, if you really utilize these sessions. Okay, how it will be possible that he is having the experience of 5 years? See, Experience is different, knowledge is different. I'm talking about the knowledge that you will get equivalent to the 5+ years of experienced knowledge guy. So experience is different, knowledge is different. Though he may have the 5+ years of experience on this DevOps, he might not got the chance to work on Kubernetes in these last 3 years. He might not got the chance to work on the Docker in this last 2 years, probably. But you know Docker Kubernetes very well. That makes you guys both are same at the level, isn't it? That is what I'm talking about. However, let us go and then also see the AWS, what we're gonna cover from the AWS point of view. So let me see the AWS course content and then what we cover in this AWS. So let me showcase you the production architecture. This is what the production architecture. So this production architecture completely we will implement using the first we will implement it using the AWS management console. Then the same production architecture we will implement using the Terraform, right? So that means Terraform we will use to automate this VPCs creation and then the machines, EC2 machines creation and all. Okay, but let us first see what are all the services that we are covering here. I will write the services in a step-by-step relative manner, just focus on it. So what we will do, assume that we have an application, isn't it? This application, probably if you can see here, I might have stopped it, but you can see. I might have stopped it. Assume this is one application which contains, products, customers, orders, sales report, and all, right? Similarly, we may have the here we can see the customers are there. Right now, I stopped this application. Just let me quickly start this application. Just out of curiosity, just to showcase you like what is meaning of project in my opinion, right? So let me just quickly run this application just in case to showcase what is the meaning of application and how it will be comparable to our production architecture is just I would like to explain you. Give me a moment till this application will start. Yes, the application seems to be started on the port number 8080. Let me log out and then let me log in as a super admin user. Just I will showcase what is the meaning of application, because I will use the word called application every time. So application is nothing but just your Google, Gmail, and just Facebook application like that. This is also one of the application. Shopify Me, Shopify is one of the application. So let me log in as a super admin. See, I'm logging as a super admin. That means this user is already registered. Carefully observe. User is already registered in the database. Now let us remember carefully. Super admin user is now logging to this application, meaning this user is already there in the database. So database is what we have to use, right? That database should be inserted with the users that gonna created by the admin or super admin, right? However, now the users are accessing the application. See, I'm accessing the application. Now the problem is this is in my local host. That means this is within my machine only. If you want to access, you can't access, right? This is within my machine.
Yeah, Narsi, I have one small question here. Sorry to disturb you. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. See, the users would be creating at the AD level or at the database level?
Here in this application, we are not using AD actually. So if there will be a IAM solution, identity and access management, then the users will be created in the AD. Ideally, the users are supposed to be created in the AD only in enterprise applications. But here in this application, we are not using AD, we are using the database.
Okay, identity manager means ID for IDM applications. There we
Correct.
need to assign policies, right, for the each
Correct.
user.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Fine. So now if you can see, as soon as I have been logged in as a super admin, here we have the modules like your Facebook and Gmail. This is one of the application. Why I'm showing you now here
As a responsibility, this also comes under DevOps engineer only.
Automation. This project need to be automatically deployed into the infrastructure when the developers will done any source code changes. For example, I have done some source code change here, or I just introduced one feature. Let's say right now it is the categories, brands, products, and orders, right? Tracking is not there. Assume tracking is the new module we have introduced. So developers who have written the code and developers pushed the code to the source code repository. Then automatically within next 5 to 10 minutes of time, the tracking should be available to the end customers, end users. That is what the CI/CD. So CI/CD needs to be done by the DevOps engineers, isn't it? Whereas this entire application is going to be deployed in this infrastructure, whatever the infrastructure I'm now showcasing. Got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you can see, we are accessing the application. So application is using the database. That means everything now we have to move from my laptop to the cloud. So in order to move from my laptop to cloud, let us understand what we need to do first, isn't it? So in my laptop, I have the application. So what we can do now, for example, in my laptop, I have installed the database called MySQL, where this MySQL database is using by that application. Just let me log in. So this is the database I'm now using. This database is in my computer. You cannot access it, isn't it? But what our target is? Our target is to move everything to the cloud. So what we have to do? Cloud database is what we have to do. And then whatever the application now you are looking here, it is running in my machine with the local host. Rather, it should be also accessed by you as well over the cloud. For that, we have to deploy it in the cloud platform. So to deploy this in the cloud platform, we need an infrastructure. That infrastructure we will set up here, right? So what we need first of all to deploy this application. Okay, first let us observe what we need to deploy this application on the cloud. Number one, database we need. Number two, virtual machine we need, right? Number two, virtual machine we need. Virtual machine meaning computer like my laptop. You are looking at my laptop, right? My laptop, I have installed the database, I have installed the application, and it is running fine. Similarly, my laptop, we also required one virtual machine in the cloud, or similar to my laptop, we need one more computer in the cloud, where in that computer, again, I have to install this database, or maybe I will connect it to the existing databases by running the application here, isn't it? Right? So